The Bengals are 0-3, lost to New England and Washington, and are somehow last in a division with Deshaun Watson in it. So what the heck happened? For the last 3 years straight, the Bengals have started the year off with a few losses. I don't know exactly why or how, but they always start off slow. And yet this one feels a bit different. The Week 1 loss to New England was a reality check for a team that to many was seen as one of the best in the AFC, and made their matchup the following week against Kansas City very interesting considering the history the two had. Although Joe and the Bengals played pretty well, just like last year, they couldn't stop Mahomes from driving down the field and putting up 3 points to win the game, and so they fell 0-2. Once again, they were back in the same spot that they had been in the last few years straight, which would be normal for a team that isn't all that great, but not for one that has Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. It's like a sprinter starting slow every 100-meter dash that he does. You'd think that things would eventually change, but for some reason Cincinnati cannot do well early in the season. Going into week 3, even though the Bengals were 0-2, they were definite favorites against a very unpredictable Commanders team with a rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels. So what happened next was pretty wild to watch unfold.
He's got it! Launch from McLaurin! He's got it!
Usually when something like that happens, it's because of underwhelming quarterback play by the vet. But Joe Burrow had a really good game. It's just that Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, and the rest of Washington cooked the Bengals defense like a bunch of chicken wings. Starting 0-3 is one thing, but to start 0-3 with a quarterback that has not thrown a single pick and is top 10 in every stat is pretty much unheard of. The loss against New England was rough, but giving up 38 to Washington at home is insane, especially without any picks or fumbles, and especially to a team that only put up 21 against the New York Giants. Obviously, the offense could have converted more in the red zone, but 33 points without any turnovers is pretty sound football. And Burrow had over 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns, so what more could he really do? Against New England, Joe was underwhelming. He didn't throw for a touchdown, and the team put up a pitiful 10 points. But against Kansas City, he played better than Mahomes, and they still lost. But I mean, this fumble didn't exactly help them.
More heat and a sack. Jamari Connor!
The Bengals team as a whole, but mainly their defense, needs to step up if Cincinnati wants to contend in this division. And Joe, Jamar, and T just have to play like they usually do. This upcoming game against Andy Dalton and the Panthers seems destined to be a Carolina W, with Andy coming back to his old stomping grounds after a phenomenal performance against Vegas. So I think Joe will have to be on timing to get them their first dub of the year. Because starting 0-4 in the same division as Pittsburgh and Baltimore is like shooting yourself in the foot. That just can't happen, especially for a Bengals team that has struggled quite a bit against division rivals, in particular Cleveland for some reason. It's strange because Joe Burrow is actually playing pretty well, so I can't be like, oh, he's throwing too many picks. I mean, his only turnover was on this fumble, which it went about as bad as a play could go. But other than that, Joe in the passing offense has been pretty great the last few weeks, whereas the run game has struggled a decent bit, with their 89.3 yards per game on average being 28th in the league. Crazy enough, the Panthers have a better rushing offense than Cincinnati, and obviously losing Joe Mixon was huge, but Zach Moss has done pretty well with over 4 yards a carry. It's just that they're usually down early, so they have to pass a lot more. But if their defense could hold up as well as it did against New England consistently, then the Bengals would probably be like 2-1 or something. But they also need to be more proficient when it comes to their receiving threats, especially T. Higgins, who only had 38 yards last game. Since he was coming off an injury, I can only imagine that he'll do better with time. So I think the offense will be fine. It really just boils down to that defense giving the offense opportunities to win consistently. And knowing the Bengals' history, I'm sure they will with time. The problem is, though, they don't got much time. They need to win games soon. So this matchup against Carolina is a must-win, as Jamar Chase said. They can't afford to fall to 0-4. But hey, it just comes down to what they do in between those lines.
Preparing to get better and trying to get a win. That's all you can do.
Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe, like, and you know what? Dislike if you want. But either way, hope you had a nice day, and peace out.